we are discussing functional English. If you go by the definition, it says employers and educators have identified these skills as vital for enabling young people and adults to have the practical skills to succeed in future learning, employment, and life in modern society. So when we discuss the modern society, as you're aware that we are living in the age of information technology, and there is a watershed movement that is taking place where we are having the impact of artificial intelligence. So things are changing really fast, and so is the complexity of the communication events. So as a manager in the future, you will be engaged in a range of communication events every day. You might be writing an email, you might be picking a phone call, you might be giving a presentation, you might be in a conference, you might be in a meeting. So functional English will give you the skills that are required to sort of perform in these communication events. So your idea of being successful is to make communication efforts that are successful in all these communication events. And how do we get it? So one of the basics that people often don't understand is that different words perform different functions in a sentence, and the study of these functions is called functional English. So if I was to simplify what functional English is all about, we want to understand different words in a sentence. So we do understand some of the basics when it comes to the parts of a speech, that we have got noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, so on and so forth. But when it comes to the functional English, most of the people don't know these things. Yeah. So the idea is to gain fluency and proficiency when you're communicating, not only in oral communication but also in writing as well. So what functional English does, the meaning of functional English is learning through application. I understand you have gone through loads and loads of work when you were in school. You have done your tenses, you have done articles, you have done prepositions, you have done nouns, pronouns, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, you could not acquire the practical skills which are required to navigate through a communication event. So if just an example, for example, you are in an interview and you have to either conduct an interview or give an interview, how would you do that? This is where these skills come into play. And when we try to further break it down, we understand we have to work on different areas. Of course, listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Be it you're going abroad, be it you're doing a degree, be it any other thing that you want to attempt in life, that will require all the four major skills. That you have to be an active listener, you have to be a fluent speaker, you have to be a good reader, and you should be a prolific writer. So all these things will make you a better person, given the fact that we live in a world where communication is the core to your success. Yeah. So when we discuss the ingredients, what we have here is vocabulary items and language skills. A lot of time people fail to understand that vocabulary is the most important thing when it comes to English. And when we talk about vocabulary, the most important thing is verbs. You must have grip over verbs. You must have command over verbs. You must know loads and loads of verbs so that you can tell what actions you want to perform. So in order to express yourself articulately, you have to rely on verbs. And of course, vocabulary is another part. I do have two books, Word Smart 1 and Word Smart 2. And I always use these books because these books not only they have the words which are regularly used on daily basis, it does also have the synonyms. So we have got range of words out there, about like 1500s, and we have the equal or more amount of synonyms in there. So the idea, in order to become effective speaker, effective communicator, is to focus on vocabulary. And the second skill is language skills. Of course, you have to live in a native environment, in an environment where you have got native speakers, or at least those people who speak English. If you don't live in those environment, or if you don't have people around you who are good speaker of English language, you cannot become a good communicator yourself when it comes to English language, if it's not your first language. So be it any language that's your first language, if you want to have good command over English language, you must have someone around you, or you must be practicing it every single day. So the key to becoming successful is what vocabulary, and in vocabulary we have verbs. You should be able to express what action you're performing. That's the thing. And of course we have got different segments. We have got different things like listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and these things also appear in any English test that you take before you move abroad. Why do they have that? Because they want to see you as a complete package. So functional means in order to perform, in order to navigate through a situation where you have enough functional knowledge or English with you that helps you in becoming successful. That's what we want to understand here. So if you want to be successful in your life, you have to enable yourself with the practical skills. We have been enabling ourselves with the technical skills like tenses, helping verbs, pronouns, noun, preposition. Maybe if you further break it down, dependent clause, independent clause, type of sentences, structure of sentences, that does not give you the practical skills. It does help you in one way or the other, but practical skill is about what? We have to use something that is sort of functional in meaning. So that's something we want to do, and we want to learn about it throughout the semester. That was our first brief lecture. I'll see you in the next tutorial.